2023 has been massive for the EV industry. Hello everyone and welcome back to the China EV Show. I'm your host Toby. As usual, don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe before we get started. It helps the channel a lot. Now today, being very close to 2024, I think it's very important to take a look back at some of the key moments from 2023 from the China EV industry to see what's moved forward and to see maybe what we can expect coming up in the new year. So make sure you let us know what you think were the key moments for 2023 and your predictions for 2024. So I'd like to talk about the successes, and the first of these is NIO. I think the 2023 has been a very big year for NIO. I think it's had a very kind of shaky past in China. There's been some financial difficulties, some job cuts. I did a video about it, you can look it up there, but obviously not a lot of this is true now because their fortunes changed quite quickly after I released this video. And that was in the form of signed agreements between NIO and big Chinese auto groups. We had Changhan first. Of course, Changhan has loads of brands beneath it, one of them being Avatar, the kind of premium EV mark. And then we had Geely Group, again, a massive group with loads of brands, loads of EV companies underneath it, including Lotus, including Zeekr. So alone, these two brands have committed to some kind of cooperation with NIO using their battery swapping in some capacity. So this is massive for NIO, and it could be opening the floodgates for other brands. So the question is, who do you think will be next to sign an agreement with battery swapping? But make sure you let us know in the comments below. Next, I'd like to talk about corporations, JVs, investments between Chinese brands and European brands. So in the kind of around the summer this year, we saw some massive watershed moments. The first of which was seeing Volkswagen invest into Xpeng. And then we had SAIC to help Audi with their next generation of EV platform. And then finally, we had Stellantis, the massive group, investing into Leap Motor. And I think this was a realization that Chinese brands are perhaps a little bit ahead in terms of the tech, in terms of the EV platform infrastructure, than some of the European brands who've been a bit slow to bring their EV offerings to market. At the same time, these Chinese brands, many of them would like to go to other markets outside of China, and they're kind of struggling to win over consumers. So maybe they can look for some assistance in the branding. How do they win the hearts and minds of the consumers around the world, including in Europe? Finally, I'd like to talk about Chinese brands in Europe. So following the success of Chinese brands at the Shanghai Auto Show, we saw Chinese brands go to the Europeans or the Germans' home turf in Berlin at the IAA conference, where they brought their brands in a big way. We saw BYD, we saw Leap Motor, we saw Zeekr there. We saw them launch a few models, perhaps kind of like at the higher price range, but we saw them introduce their products to consumers and kind of like really blow a lot of European consumers away with the type of stuff that Chinese EV brands offer. And then this week we saw BYD committing to a factory in Hungary, in Europe. I'm not going to go into the full story there. You can look at my other YouTube video for more on that. But basically, this is another watershed moment because now they're building cars on Europeans' front door. Hopefully they can win some trust and maybe they can reduce their costs for consumers and inject the market with more competitive offerings to benefit consumers. And of course, speed up the transition to electric cars. My final key takeaway for today from 2023 would be the rise of electronics and phone brands in the EV industry. So this week we had the reveal of the Xiaomi car, the Suqi SU7, which kind of blew consumers away with the offerings it had. And then we have Huawei, who've received a lot of success for their Aito brand with Series, the manufacturer, and Luxeed, which is still in the early stages with Cherry. These brands are in a great position. They understand what users want. They understand user experience very well. They understand merging the kind of mobile and vehicle experience very seamlessly. So I do believe they have an advantage when it comes to making cars. So we'll see what develops going forward. And of course, everyone is expecting this Apple car to come in the future. And what can we expect from this? Can it be on a similar level to Xiaomi's, to Huawei's cars, or will it be even better? Will it be just focused on the American market, or will they try to capture the whole world, China, America, Europe, at the same time? Make sure you let us know in the comments below. So the key takeaway from 2023 is that EVs are the future globally, and China EVs are perhaps leading the charge here in Europe and around the world. And brands are continuing to invest, legacy brands included. So I think this spells exciting times for the EV industry in 2024. Make sure you let us know your predictions for what's going to happen in 2024. And if you agree with my highlights, or if there's any highlights you think I missed, make sure you give us a comment below. I've been Toby, Happy New Year, and I'll see you next year in 2024 on the China EV Show. Goodbye.